Even if you don't watch Dr. Phil regularly, it's likely that you've stumbled across some of his guests through various YouTube videos that have gone viral over the past few years. This is because Dr. Phil's known for having some of the most eccentric guests that viewers can never forget. So in this video, we're looking at some of the most shocking guests that have ever appeared on Dr. Phil. First up, we have Zachary Davis. Davis ranks first on this list because he's a convicted murderer. You heard that right. Davis had brutally murdered his own mother with a sledgehammer in 2012. 2 months after his interview with Dr. Phil, Davis was served a life sentence in prison. This, on its own, is beyond disturbing and shocking. But what made matters worse was the fact that Davis didn't seem to have any remorse for his actions. While narrating why and how he killed his mother, it seemed as if he was ripped straight out of a horror movie, as he spoke in a monotonous and unsettling manner that would shake almost any viewer to their core. Usually, Dr. Phil interviews have some silly moments here and there, but that wasn't the case in this interview. It was unnerving from start to finish. If you're up for a challenge, try watching the full interview late at night with all your lights off and without any breaks. We definitely wouldn't be able to. As you guys will see, Dr. Phil has had some interesting guests to say the least, but none of them are as shocking as a convicted murderer. Coming in at second, we have Aneska. Aneska appeared on Dr. Phil when she was just 12, but once you hear about this girl's actions, you'll be appalled to say the least. According to Aneska's parents, after she'd fallen off her tricycle at the age of 3, her behavior started to change for the worse. She became an incredibly violent child and began to wreak havoc at home. As we were told on the show, she killed lots of baby birds by squeezing them to death, ran after her siblings with knives, and even choked her sister. She resorted to violence in a heartbeat while also lying and stealing things frequently. Aneska said that she was doing everything because the voices inside her head told her to. The doctor on the show who checked Aneska's MRI said that she might be suffering from bipolar disorder or significant sensory dysregulation disorder, but apparently no amount of medication seemed to help Aneska improve her mindset. Not only was it shocking that a child could be so violent from a young age, but it was an incredibly sad case, as well as no parent wants their child to take such a path. The good news, though, is that in 2021, the Dr. Phil website stated that Aneska was about to graduate high school and that she is now able to control her violent episodes. Next on this list is Peyton's racist father. Peyton appeared on the show to speak out against her father and his racism and bigotry on a whole other level. You'll be outraged to hear how this man thinks and the things he said. Just to let you know, this man's a member of the Ku Klux Klan, a hate group, and is a convicted felon who served 9 years in prison because of his contribution to the manufacture of bombs which were to be used to bomb an abortion clinic. His attitude was horrible, as he said that he would never recognize Peyton's child as his grandson merely because he's half black. Peyton also told Dr. Phil that her father would call her child derogatory and racist names which were absolutely disgusting. Peyton's father claimed that in his eyes, the child wasn't human just because he wasn't completely white, and due to that, he would never accept him. The ironic part is that, while being a criminal himself, he stated that he was worried Peyton's child would follow the same route merely because of his skin color, which makes no sense at all and just reflects his racist outlook. Moving on, we have Tanya Ramirez. This is another insane story that almost seems unbelievable. Tanya was a 28-year-old teacher who decided to give her phone number to one of her students named Tristan, who was 17 years old at the time. Tristan then showed up to her house one night and the two had sexual intercourse. Unbelievable, right? The story only gets worse from here on out, though. Tristan recorded the entire thing and then sent the video to all his friends. Before she knew it, the video was circulated throughout the entire school, leading to Tanya losing her job and a second-degree felony charge. The shocking part was that she didn't seem to be ashamed, nor did it look as if she thought she was in the wrong, even though she did something so repulsive. Instead, she felt that her reputation was being tarnished for no reason and sued Tristan as well as his mother for defamation. It's disappointing that she didn't serve time, nor was she registered as a sex offender. The whole encounter on Dr. Phil was made even more awkward by the fact that Tristan's mother claimed that the recording was not that good, which could only imply one thing: she watched the video. Yikes. Up next is Romina Garcia. Garcia was called to appear as a guest on Dr. Phil after she posted a video online which ended up going viral. The video went viral for the wrong reasons, though, as she was supporting domestic abuse. As opposed to speaking out against it, she was defending it while justifying the violent actions of her boyfriend. At the time of the video, Garcia was 18 and could be seen with a black eye. But what raised eyebrows was the fact that she was saying her boyfriend hit her because of the fact that he was deeply in love with her. Her view was that by abusing their partners, men are putting themselves at risk of being arrested or having charges pressed against them, and this signifies true love. This makes absolutely no sense, and many felt saddened and worried that Garcia had conditioned herself to think like this. What's more terrible is the effect this video possibly had on some survivors of domestic abuse when they heard what she was saying. They may have thought that if others going through the same horrors accepted the situation in such a manner, they should as well. There have been many rumors that Garcia suffered from a drug overdose and died after turning 20, but there's no official report on the matter. Another Another guest on this list is Niki. Niki's story is another sad one to hear. Niki was a promising and successful student who excelled at many things, including cheerleading. But once she tried heroin, she got addicted, and this caused her family to want absolutely nothing to do with her and bully her. Things only spiraled down even further as time went on. The most concerning part, though, was that when she appeared on Dr. Phil, she had been pregnant for 8 months, and the constant use of heroin only spelled disaster for the child. Added to this was the fact that she lived in a van and had been engaging in prostitution so that she and her boyfriend would be able to afford as much heroin as possible. Even worse was that she said she'd overdosed when she was 7 months pregnant and openly admitted to putting heroin above her own child. On the bright side, Dr. Phil had asked her if she would like to go to rehab, and she agreed to go. The good news is that this had a positive effect on her, and she has now turned her life around completely. Finally, we have Mary Ann. The last guest on this list also brings with herself a strange story which once again is an eyebrow raiser. According to Miranda, her mother, Mary Ann has been fixated on looking like a stripper since her longtime husband of 26 years made a confession that he'd visited the strip club twice 10 years prior to Mary Ann appearing on the show. Mary Ann didn't stop at herself though, as she began obsessing over her 19-year-old daughter Miranda's appearance as well. Miranda claimed that instead of investing money into her education, her mother was only willing to spend money on transforming her daughter's body. She would tell Miranda to get bigger and bigger breast implants, wear tight clothes, and show off her body, while constantly telling Miranda that men only cared about women's bodies and not their education. Mary Ann also bought a stripper pole for the both of them to practice their dancing. The whole situation was beyond shocking and worrying, as she was encouraging the objectification of women, including her own daughter, who was only 19 years old. Though, one can't ignore the role Mary Ann's husband played in causing all this to happen in the first place. That's a wrap for this video. We couldn't cover every shocking guest as there have been many, but do let us know in the comments below if you agree with the order of our list and which guests you feel were more shocking than the ones we've listed. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video.